What's up guys, long time no see. I have gotten a lot of messages that where have I been and why am I not making videos anymore, but I have just been on a little bit of a winter break and I'm still definitely making content, and I wasn't even planning to make video today, but I have to make about the new Chaos Dust update. This was clearly meant to be like a minor update from Plarium, that they basically buffed some packs in the cash shop and added some champion lore and other not very interesting stuff to me. But then they added this massive bombshell that we're gonna get Chaos Dust, which is basically gonna be what Chaos Ore is to items, except it is for Ascension and not the substats or the main stat. And basically any item that you get in future, regardless what Ascension you get on it, you're gonna be able to get the perfect Ascension. So only thing that really matters is getting good main stat and substats, and regardless of Ascension, you will eventually get it right. You can farm these items from Sand Devil and Phantom Shogun. There is no cooldown on it or anything else. It's just gonna take time. And it's way better than Chaos Ore, so it's honestly kind of shocking that this item is farmable. And I already rolled so many items that were like ruined pieces and now they became perfect ones. Let me just give you a couple examples, but for instance these boots, they had I think maybe flat HP or something random, and they used to be perfect defense scaling nuke boots piece until Ascension, and then they kind of became a mediocre one, and one even without all of the good substats on my account was better than these because it had good Ascension. But now I was able to get speed on them, which is my preferable substat, and they are like a perfect piece. I think I did like 5 items with the 23 dust that we got, that I got the perfect stat on when I was testing this. And I should have definitely made a video then, but I was kind of tired and I just wanted to see how it works, and I couldn't believe my eyes what is happening and how it works. But let's actually give it a little go on the video. I was kind of farming some of them overnight to showcase on video, and of course I have a massive list of things that I want to do now, and this is gonna be like, it's gonna be a very major thing in future. Everybody is gonna get way better gear, and especially old accounts with a lot of gear are gonna get way better. And you're definitely gonna also want to put emphasis on these kind of special sets like reaction and lethal and so on. But let's actually see how it goes in practice. So this is a build that I wasn't using on my Helicat before. I kind of put him in a nuke set because I'm gonna later today test it out again. I used to run a lot of nuke Helicat, and it used to be my way kind of to counter those tanky Taras teams and so on. And this isn't the build that I would have done in the past. Like for instance, you can see these boots would be great, but I actually have better ones because they had the correct Ascension, even though otherwise they wouldn't be as good as this. And basically he has multiple pieces like this that back in the days these would have been perfect pieces, but nowadays they are kind of mediocre. And now I have a chance to reroll all of them to the perfect Ascension. On these top pieces I was actually lucky, the ones that make a lot less impact. Those ones of course all have naturally the right Ascension, but on the bottom pieces, which make much bigger difference, on those I'm missing. But now I'm gonna have a crazy set, so let's actually see how many dust it takes for me to get the job done. I don't have that many, so I might not get a single piece, I might get couple pieces. Ideally I would want speed on these boots, but if I get defense Ascension then I'm gonna keep it and I'm gonna reroll for the speed later, but let's see how it goes. But yeah, my account is getting massive boost from this. I just need to get couple good champions, and who knows, even in Platinum Arena reset, I might make a comeback. Okay, so we got the defense substat. I was kind of hoping for speed on these bulls, but on some situations I might prefer these two, so let's go with this one and then maybe I will change it later. One thing to note though, that is when you reroll the Ascension, you're gonna like reset it, so you have to upgrade it again. So if I upgrade these now, which I'm gonna do, when I reroll them for speed, if I do it, then I will have to pay the oils or whatever these were called. Not oils, but are they oils? Whatever they are, I need to pay the upgrade materials again, but that's not gonna be issue because we're gonna be farming Phantom Shogun and Sand Devil for months, and we're gonna have a massive excess of these resources in future. But as you can see, now this piece became from like a good one, but not top tier, to basically like a perfect pair of boots. Let's see how many more we can get on my Helicat. My Helicat build is gonna be sick tonight. I hope we can get at least one more. Come on. Boots is maybe the easiest piece to get because... Okay, yeah. Boots is the easiest piece to get because you both speed and defense can be good. Or I guess on gloves there can also be two good Ascensions, but generally or always you're pretty much gonna want crit damage on all of the nukers, and on tanks you're gonna want percentage HP too and never really the defense. But okay, maybe we just got one piece, but even that is pretty good. I'm definitely gonna be farming. Come on. Oh my god, we got the perfect one. Okay, great. I'm definitely gonna be farming Sand Devil overnight to get these and many other champions and builds upgraded. But as you can see now, in like a couple of seconds we got 40% more defense on my Helicat, and probably later tonight or tomorrow I'm gonna get 20 more crit damage, and I'm gonna do this on my every build of mine, and they're all gonna be crazy. And this is what you're gonna see from other old accounts and big whales, so be prepared for it. Actually, I could go for the accessories as well. This is maybe not as big deal, of course, as the bottom artifact pieces, but what is very big deal on accessories is if you have special accessories. And now that I think about it, I think I have... Yeah, this is gonna be the same theme for both artifacts and accessories in general, that you want to pay a lot attention to special sets like refresh or reaction or cruel or lethal. Those are generally better than the ones that you can farm from dungeons. And basically any piece that is 6-star on these sets you want to keep in future, because even if it doesn't have anything correct, it has wrong main stats and it has wrong Ascension and wrong substats, you can try to Chaosaur it once, or if it already has other stats that are good but not good Ascension, then you can just reroll the Ascension either way. But even if everything is bad, you might just Chaosaur it once, and if it rolls well, then you're gonna reroll the Ascension. So every good piece on these kind of potential sets, or even horrible piece, every 6-star piece on, let's say, reaction, you want to keep all of them. You don't want to throw anything away, and luckily I have been kind of doing that for reaction, that I have kept every single reaction piece I have gotten ever. Even if they have horrible stats, I haven't sold anything, so I have a good amount of them. Anyway, let's see if we can get crit damage amulet on him. I think this one has, yeah, it has more defense, but a little bit of defense is not that big deal. We don't have him in stone skin anymore, so I definitely want to get reaction on him. And of course with amulets you have very high chance to get crit damage, so with 24 dust surely we're gonna do it. Yeah, I actually tried this couple times yesterday and I didn't get it correctly, but maybe we will now. Come on, give me crit damage. Come on. Okay, I think this is my last try. It's the more attempts you do, it's gonna cost more. But I think it capped at, was it 5 or 7 tries, and eventually, no matter how unlucky you are, eventually you're gonna get the perfect stats on every piece. So this is gonna be very interesting. I don't know what honestly like Plarium was thinking. This is gonna be huge power creep. I can't really say if it's gonna be a good or bad thing for the game. It's definitely gonna benefit me personally, but I don't know if it's gonna be healthy. Like, I really can't tell at this point, but I'm pretty skeptical, and definitely this is gonna benefit those old-time players a lot more than new players. So, and yeah, back in the day, my old strategy with Chaosor used to be that every single 6-star piece on relevant rare sets, like let's say lethal, I would keep, and first I would roll them to 12 and see what ascension I get. And even if the main stat and the substats were crappy, I would Chaosor it if I got a good ascension, and I had a small chance to get some potential top pieces. Actually, this chest, even though it's a blue one, it's one of those pieces that I actually Chaosored this. It got the attack ascension at 12, and then I just rolled my chances, and I happened to be lucky with this piece. All of the Chaosor that we have gotten in the past, I have either used to do this or to reroll reaction accessories. And I made a lot of progression with this, and that is kind of how I have been able to keep up with the gear with some of the better accounts. But I think the way it's gonna work in future, if you want to min-max, and I think this was kind of gonna be my point in the video event, or I kind of talked about the general things early on. As you can see, I don't have any half decent merciless pieces yet. I think I sold a lot of them, and even this one I think I already Chaosored it once and I didn't even bother to sell it. But yeah, this is what you're gonna do in future. There is other good sets too, other than merciless, like bolster and cruel and so on, stone skin. Basically many of those limited time sets that you see a lot in PvP. But merciless is the new king in the town, and definitely the best set in the game. And there is very limited supply of it. So in future, you're basically gonna do the same trick that I used to do with Chaosor. But now you're not just gonna apply it to all pieces that get good ascension, regardless of ascension or the main stats or substats. Every single 6-star merciless piece that you get, and I'm specifically talking about bottom pieces, but you can do this on top pieces as well, but it's gonna be way easier to get good top pieces. Every single 6-star merciless bottom piece, if it doesn't have good stats, then you're gonna Chaosor it. And if you get lucky with it, and even if you get bad ascension, you can just reroll it, and boom, you got the perfect top piece. And yeah, I don't really know what to think about this. The consequences will never be the same. We're gonna unleash some madness in Arena that everybody is gonna have perfect pieces. I was checking out what the potential of this build is gonna be. If I were to gloop him maximum to the speed, I could have him at like 292 speed, and also have very high like damage build on him as well. Basically what he has now. This build you see right now, this is with 2-star blessing, with no empowerment, and I can still get the crit damage on gloves. And this is the kind of gear that you should start expecting from the top Arena players in the future. And the next reset is gonna be super funny. Like, everybody is gonna be farming 24/7 Sand Devil for the next couple of days, and I'm gonna be doing it as well overnight. And you're gonna see some crazy builds. Like, I was already memeing about it in my Discord that people think that my Duchess is annoying, with 150k HP, but I can get so much more stats on her in couple days, and you're gonna see duchesses with like 170k HP, and you're gonna see nukers with 300 to 350 speed. Things are gonna get crazy, and of course the champions matter, and in the grand scheme of things they are more important than gear, because if you are a very old player, everybody has good gear. But if you are a more newer player, even if you have very good champions, you might run into trouble in future that you're gonna see people massively outgearing you, and that's gonna be basically the old accounts and people that have been hoarding items that didn't get the perfect ascension. I was looking at my Duchess build, for instance. I already rerolled both the banner and amulet on my Duchess. Neither one had the HP ascension, which I got on them. And even the bolster pieces, I was checking these out, and I can make some major upgrades on my Duchess. These two pieces don't have speed substat on them, and I actually have way better chest and gloves that doesn't have HP ascension, and soon when I get enough dust, I'm gonna replace both of these pieces, and my Duchess is gonna get like 50 speed more. It's gonna be crazy. And yeah, I would say that I have a positive feeling about this update, but I'm not quite sure if it's gonna be healthy for the game or not. And it is also gonna create a massive disparity, especially in the near future, because I think Sand Devil and Phantom Shogun are pretty hard pieces of content, and maybe not built in a way that they are very approachable for most people. You kind of need specific champions on them, especially on Sand Devil, and it is pretty hard to speed farm them. I can actually do Phantom Shogun with a very fast team. By the way, I have a video about this. If you need a good team for Phantom Shogun, this is probably the most free-to-play friendly team that there is. That is also able to farm the boss pretty fast. This is gonna be like 40-second to 60-second fight, and you're not gonna need any kind of crazy champions on this. You could definitely use something else instead of Badel as well if you don't have him, but probably if you do have him, you're not using him in any content nowadays because he's kind of old champion and not that relevant. I guess the most endgame thing that Badel is used on is soloing some dungeons, but the normal dungeons are pretty irrelevant, and even the hard mode dungeons are pretty irrelevant as well. I have actually been complaining about it for a long time, that there's nothing to do for me with energy, and none of the dungeon gear really matters to me, so I kind of felt sad about it, and oh nice, we got lucky with this one. And now I guess I got my source to dump my energy on, and this is literally gonna be the only thing that I farm in 2024. Only reason I'm gonna farm dungeons is for fusion events, and that's it. And yeah, out of the two, Phantom Shogun is definitely the easier one for me, but Sand Devil, even I have a hard time. As you can see, my fastest team is 4 minutes 23 seconds, and it is basically like a 5-minute farm for me with Dreng and Guard Seeker. That is one of the more free-to-play friendly setups for this, but it is very slow. Now I heard that there is new ways to farm it with Blizzard, and then there is some way that if you have a 5-star blessing on Guard Seeker, you can do it very fast with Ninja as well, so maybe I can do one of those teams in the future. And yeah, that is probably gonna be the biggest issue with this update, that first of all the old players are gonna have more gear, and because of that alone they are gonna get more benefit. But also a lot of people can farm the Sand Devil and Phantom Shogun 25, even if they are like end game. Many people that I know, they can compete in Platinum Arena, but they are farming like Sand Devil 24 or something, and only now, because of this update, they have to try come up with some way to do it, and it's not gonna be easy for them. But yeah, that's my thoughts on this update. I am pretty excited. I'm definitely gonna have fun in live arena with my new gear, but I have no idea if the community at large thinks this is a good update or not. The power creep is gonna be massive, the consequences are never gonna be the same. All of the mad players are basically gonna be running in perfect gear in the near future, so we will see how this goes. But yeah, that's it for this video, and tell me in comments how you feel about it. I'm very curious.